Today I'm going to be discussing feminist criticism, specifically French feminism and multicultural feminism. French feminism, like American feminism, consists of diverse viewpoints. The focus of French feminism is separated into materialist feminism and psychoanalytic feminism. French materialist feminism looks at the social and economic oppression of women. An example of this is how in a patriarchal society, women are considered in relation to men and not as independent beings. Simone de Beauvoir, a French writer and feminist, raised the idea that women are not born feminine and that they are conditioned by patriarchy to become feminine. She argues that the patriarchy tells women what they must do to be fulfilled. She believed that when women get married, they're tossing away their freedom and potential because they are afraid of personal responsibility. Christine Delphi, a French feminist, invented the term materialist feminism in the 70s. She offers a feminist critique of patriarchy based on Marxist principles. She analyzes family as an economic unit. Delphi sees marriage as a labor contract that binds women to unpaid labor, or housework. Colette Guillemot, a French feminist and sociologist, points out that men are defined by what they do, while women are defined in terms of their sex. She believes that women are primarily affected by appropriation. She calls this appropriation sexage, and separates it into 4 terms. 1. The appropriation of women's time. 2. The appropriation of the products of women's bodies. 3. Woman's sexual obligation. And 4. Woman's obligation to care for whichever member of the family can't care for themselves, and healthy male members. The effect of the 4 areas of appropriation is that they take away a woman's sense of individuality and their freedom. Now we will move on to French psychoanalytic feminism. It looks into the patriarchy's influence on women's psychological experience and creativity. Many French psychoanalytic feminists investigate language because it is where most of the psychological subjugation occurs. Hélène Cixous, a French feminist writer, argues that language reveals patriarchal binary thought, or seeing the world in terms of polar opposites, men versus women, in which one is superior to the other. These oppositions dictate the way we think. She argues that women cannot learn to resist patriarchal thinking by becoming part of the patriarchal power structure. She thinks that in order to resist, we must create a new feminine language that eliminates patriarchal binary thinking. She calls this language écriture féminine, or feminine writing. Luce Iraguer, a French feminist, believes that women live in a world where all meaning is defined by patriarchal language. She says that men have defined femininity in terms of their own needs, fears, and desires. An example of this is Sigmund Freud's penis envy. This theory assumes that women want the same things as men want and don't have their own desires. Iraguer also sees patriarchal power in the male gaze, meaning the man looks and the woman is looked at. This causes women to be viewed as material objects. She believes that the way to get beyond patriarchy is through language. She thinks that women-only groups are necessary to develop non-patriarchal ways of thinking and speaking. She calls this idea woman-speak. Another psychoanalytic feminist, Julia Kristeva, disagrees with the idea of woman-speak. She thinks that it perpetuates stereotypes about women. Kristeva believes that the feminine can't be defined because of its subjective meaning. However, she also believes that we can share the knowledge that it is marginalized and oppressed. Kristeva says that women can get beyond patriarchal language and thinking by seeking access to the semiotic and symbolic dimension of language. Semiotic being elements such as intonation, rhythm, and body language. Symbolic meaning how words operate and the meanings attributed to them. Our first form of communication is semiotic, which is learned from our mothers. When language is introduced, our instinctual connections to our mothers are oppressed because language is the dominion of patriarchy, which controls its symbolic meaning. Now we will be moving on to multicultural feminism. While all women experience patriarchal oppression, each woman's needs, desires, and problems are shaped by their socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, race, educational experience, religion, nationality, and geographic location. The promotion of sisterhood must include respect for and attention to these differences. African American feminists have helped reveal the political and theoretical limitations in white feminists' neglect of cultural experiences different from their own. White feminism encourages Black women to prioritize gender issues over race issues, while the Black male community encourages them to prioritize race issues over gender issues. This puts Black women in a difficult position. Black feminists often promote the importance of understanding gender issues in cultural context. Literary criticism that addresses women's issues can fall under many categories, including lesbian criticism, Marxist criticism, post-colonial criticism, and various ethnic groups' criticism. That concludes my section. Hope you learned something. Thanks for watching.